What's up, YouTube? Ryan back this week with our Week 16 minor league recap. Let's do it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Another solid week in the minor leagues. I will say there was some really good pitching performances this week. So we're going to see lower hitting numbers pretty much across the board, which honestly, I'm okay with. It gives me more fuel for my end of the month pitcher prospect recap. So I'm excited about that. But I want to give you guys a heads up because there are a couple huge performances, but there's definitely lower end performances that usually the past few weeks through this entire year wouldn't normally be on this video. So we're going to jump into it pretty quick today. I know I'm a little delayed on my normal upload time. I was doing a lot of errands and I took my dog to the dog park this morning, hung out with my wife. So I'm going to try and make it pretty quick and let's do it. Before we jump in the video, if you guys like these recaps, want me to keep making them, please give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if I forgot anybody that maybe should have been on this recap this week. There's a lot of prospects to follow. And sometimes I miss a couple. That's just what I do. I go through all the box scores every night, but sometimes some players slip through that, put together 2 hit performances for an entire week that maybe I just didn't see because they're hitting singles. So it's possible. I do miss people. So in the comments below, name and weekly stat line down below if there's someone I missed. Jumping straight into rookie ball, we're going to highlight Jordan Lawler first. There's only one game played, but I think it's worth noting just from what he did. He was a 6th overall pick. He went to my Diamondbacks. So yeah, maybe a little bias here, but he's definitely someone that was on a lot of people's boards, and I just wanted to talk about him for a second because there was not a lot of good rookie ball performers. Like I looked up pretty much any big name in rookie ball, and I was pretty disappointed. So Jordan Lawler did make this week's video on one game, and it's more of just a highlight just to show what he did in his first start. So, he had 3 plate appearances. He did get a hit. He hit a double, so that was awesome. He had an RBI. And he got walked once. So he went 1 for 2 with a walk and he stole a base. So good little start for Jordan Lawler, but don't want to touch on him too much. Just figure is worth noting. The only other comparable high school bat in rookie ball from this draft, I would say, is Marcelo Meyer. And he hasn't really doing much. Colson Montgomery, not too much. Just everyone else that is hyped from this draft is already in A-ball. Our second player we're going to talk about in rookie ball this week, Jose Salas. He actually got moved up to A-ball this week, but I wanted to keep him in the rookie ball section because he did get a lot of his hits in rookie ball this week. But he has moved up to low A, thankfully, because he's been killing it all year. This week, over 5 games, 381 batting average, 409 on base percentage, 933 OPS. He had 8 hits in 5 games. He had 3 doubles on top of that, 3 RBIs. He walked once and stole a base. So really solid week for Jose Salas. Definitely deserves to be in low A now. He killed rookie ball. Only 18 years old. And our MVP, sort of, Grant McCray. This is a long shot prospect I've been pretty high on since 2019. Absolutely crushes this baseball. This was his first at bat at A-ball, actually. So another player that, started in rookie ball, and he played a majority of his games in rookie ball this week, did just get moved up. That home run was from low A, but over 5 games this week, 375 batting average, 500 on base percentage, 1063 OPS. He had a home run. He had 6 hits in 5 games. He walked 4 times on top of that, which I think is awesome. Stole 3 bases. Again, Grant McCray, he's not a top prospect, but he's someone that's been on my list for a long time that I don't think gets enough respect. Obviously not a ton of pro experience, but I do think he's a good player. I definitely think the Giants got a steal in the 3rd round in 2019, and he's showing good so far. Since he's been playing very well, and he had an awesome week. Moving on to low A, and again, not very many crazy offensive performances in low A. Again, let me know if I forgot anyone because I swear I looked forever this morning looking up players that usually are in these videos and top prospects that just didn't do good this week. But Colton Cowser leading us off. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2021 draft from the Orioles. This is actually his 2nd time being on the video. But over 5 games this week, 278 batting average, which, nothing crazy, but he had a 440 on base percentage, 829 OPS. He had 5 hits in 5 games. He had 2 doubles on top of that, 4 RBIs. He walked 4 times in those 5 games, which I like a lot. Got beaned twice, if that means anything to you. But just a solid week. Next up, the New York Yankees first rounder, Trey Sweeney, annihilates this baseball. This ball got out so quickly. Trey Sweeney, first rounder, 20th overall pick from the New York Yankees. He's out of Eastern Illinois University. A lot of people like this draft pick. I'm okay with it. I think he's a solid player, but he had a good week this week. And similar to Colton Cowser, batting average wasn't crazy. Over 4 games, 231 batting average, but a 474 on base percentage and 1166 OPS. So a solid week from Trey Sweeney. He had 3 hits in those 4 games. He hit a double, he hit a triple, he hit a home run, but he walked 5 times in 4 games, got beaned once on top of that. So that's why almost a 500 on base percentage this week. Definitely deserving to be on the video, especially with the 1166 OPS. Pretty solid start to his pro career. Next up, Nick York is on fire. This dude is the hottest hitter in low-A baseball right now. He is destroying the ball. Nick York, please get him out of low-A as soon as possible. He does not deserve to be there anymore. He has completely proven himself now. He is showing his power. This is a player that pretty much showed no power through like the first 3 months of the season, and over the past month and a half, he's been crushing baseballs out of the park. Over 5 games this week, 391 batting average, 375 on base percentage, 1288 OPS. He had 3 home runs. He had a triple, he had a double, he had 9 hits in 5 games. No free bases this week, though. He actually had a higher batting average and on base percentage, so no walks, didn't get beaned. And that's the only reason why he's not my MVP this week. I initially had him as my MVP, but I just switched it before I literally started talking about Nick York. But Nick York looks awesome, continuing to rake. The Red Sox made a great first-round pick in 2020. And our MVP this week in low A, Robert Hassel III, 8th overall pick in the 2020 draft, number 1 high schooler taken out of that draft class. Over 6 games this week, 455 batting average, 571 on base percentage, 1117 OPS. So his OPS was lower than Nick York. And he didn't hit any home runs, but he had 2 doubles. He had 10 hits in 6 games. He walked 6 times in 6 games, and that's why I have him at my MVP of the week. As much as the 3 home runs from Nick York is sexy, he walked 0 times. And walking 6 times in 6 games, having a 571 on base percentage and 3 stolen bases, I just decided to give it to Robert Hassel this week because of that. Just got on base a lot more. And Nick York was our MVP last week. It's not like he's missing out on an MVP. But Robert Hassel, I believe he deserved it this week. Amazing week. He's been so good this year. This is another player like Nick York. Get Robert Hassel out of low A. Come on. He doesn't need to be at Lake Elsinore anymore. Like, the guy just turned 20. He is not super young. Get him moving, Padres. Our first player we're talking about in high A, and I apologize for the video quality, Francisco Alvarez crushes this ball to center field. Francisco Alvarez has hit 5 home runs in his last 9 games. And I will retract that statement. As of that home run, it was 5 home runs in 9 games. But Francisco Alvarez, he's been on fire lately. Again, batting average on base percentage isn't sexy, but the power continues to show up, and that's why he's here on the video this week. Over 5 games, 263 batting average, 364 on base percentage, 943 OPS. So again, the trend for Alvarez, since he's been in high A, has been, a lower batting average and lower on base percentage. So nothing crazy. I mean, 364 on base percentage is fine. But obviously, like, for a top 10 prospect that all these people are putting in the top 10, I would love to see it higher. But he keeps hitting home runs. He had 2 home runs this week. He had 5 hits in 5 games. He walked twice and got beaned. He even stole a base. I don't think you should get used to him stealing bases. But hey, he stole a base this week. Had a really good week. Next up, Austin Wells, first round, 28th overall pick in the 2020 draft. Another player, and it seems to be a trend this week, just not the crazy batting average, but getting on base a lot. Over 6 games this week, Austin Wells, who just recently got brought up to high A, and he's been getting comfortable. 250 batting average, but a 400 on base percentage and 1,000 OPS. He had 2 home runs. He had a double on top of that. 5 hits in 6 games, 5 RBIs. He walked 5 times in 6 games. So he's definitely getting comfortable at high A. I think he's a good hitter, and he's starting to show it at the high A level. 400 on base percentage this week. Love to see it. 1,000 OPS. Deserves to be on the video. Next up, Trevor Hauver, one of my favorite prospects at high A right now. Another solid week for him. At high A Hickory, as he gets more comfortable, the dude's still getting on base, but the batting average came a little bit better this week than previous weeks in high A. Over 4 games, 333 batting average, 467 on base percentage, 1050 OPS. He had a home run. He had 4 hits in 4 games. He walked 3 times on top of that. Can't argue with it. Another guy, over 1,000 OPS, gets on base, over a 450 on base percentage this week. Awesome week. Next up, Nick Lofton is strutting his stuff the past couple months. He has been turning it on at the high A level. He's looking like a legitimate prospect in that Royals organization. Nick Lofton, 32nd overall pick in the 2020 draft, taken just barely after Austin Wells, who we just talked about. Over 6 games this week, 333 batting average, 481 on base percentage, 1053 OPS. He had a home run. He had 2 doubles, 7 hits in 6 games. He walked 6 times in 6 games. Nick Lofton, I think this is a player, he's a little bit older. He's 22 years old, went to college. He's showing he shouldn't be in high A anymore. He's consistently playing very well. I would move him to AA as soon as possible because of that 22-year-old age. But another awesome week for him. Like, he started off the season slow. Before I play this video, I apologize for the quality because this was a walk-off home run, and it was so awesome. I wish I could get a video with better quality. But Anthony Volpe, I can't get him off these recaps. Crushes this, no doubt, walk-off home run. Hits it into oblivion. The dude is unreal right now. Beautiful walk-off home run. Crazy pimp job on top of that. And honestly, Anthony Volpe, he has had a average week for him. And that's how good he's been this year. Over 6 games, 300 batting average, 481 on base percentage, 1081 OPS. Like, those are numbers he's been putting up close to all year. A little higher on base percentage, tiny bit higher OPS, but not by much. He had a home run, he had a triple, he had a double, he had 6 hits in 6 games, 5 walks on top of that, got beaned twice, stole a base. The dude is the #1 prospect in the Yankee system now, based on the MLB pipeline. And I actually ranked him #1 in the Yankees organization as well. If you haven't seen my top 50, go check out that little series I have. It's 3 videos. A lot of fun making that. Anthony Volpe is a beast. He's turning into an awesome first-round pick for the Yankees. Do you guys remember who the #1 draft pick was this year in 2021? Henry Davis with the massive pimp job to this home run. This is his 3rd career home run, and you're going to pimp it like that? That dude's got some balls. Henry Davis wins MVP this week. He had an awesome performance. He only played 4 games this week, and as you can see, this was his first full week in high A. He just moved from rookie ball, and they just put him in high A immediately, which I'm cool with. He's 21 already from playing in college. But he did awesome this week. Over 4 games, he hit .333 with a 400 on base percentage, a 1233 OPS. He had 2 home runs, 4 hits in 4 games. He had 3 RBIs on top of that. Stole a base. Henry Davis wins MVP for me. And I might be biased because of that home run was just freaking epic. But I like Henry Davis a lot as a prospect. A lot of people did not think he should have gone #1 overall. I think he deserves it. And just an incredible performance this week. Moving into AA, I did not know Braden Shoemaker had that type of power. No doubt about that one. Again, another home run that's kind of hard to see based off the quality, but that ball was crushed. Maybe one day we'll get minor league cameras to be like high quality. We'll see. Maybe they'll get more funding one day. Probably not. But over 5 games this week, Braden Shoemaker, 286 batting average, 318 on base percentage, 937 OPS. He had 2 home runs. He had a double. He had 6 hits in 5 games. He walked once on top of that. Definitely a solid middle infield prospect for the Braves. He's starting to look a lot better. Next up, Brian Roshio. Dude continues to keep performing, even at AA now. Absolute tank. That was destroyed. Brian Roshio this week, over 6 games, 333 batting average, 357 on base percentage, 1024 OPS. He had 2 home runs. He had 3 doubles. He had 9 hits in 6 games. He had 8 RBIs on top of that. He had a walk, and he stole a base. So, awesome week for Brian Roshio. This is a player that, he just keeps slowly climbing for me. Like, the more consistent he's playing, the more I'm like, this dude's pretty solid. So, we'll see if he can keep trending in that direction. He definitely can be streaky at times, but good week. I don't think I've ever put a defensive video in this recap, but Oswald Peraza made that look way too easy. That play should not look that easy. Oswald Peraza, he is currently the #3 Yankee prospect in that organization via the MLB pipeline, and he's been very solid this entire season. Over 5 games this week, 391 batting average, 440 on base percentage, 1092 OPS. He had a home run, 3 doubles, 9 hits in 5 games. He had 6 RBIs on top of that, 2 walks, 2 stolen bases. Oswald Peraza, definitely a solid shortstop prospect. It's kind of crazy that him and Volpe both play shortstop, and they both seem to be very comparable players, in my opinion. Both of them had good weeks this week. Ivan Herrera making the recap yet again. This was his 4th home run of the week to dead center. Definitely crushed it. Ivan Herrera is a scary player when he's hot. Ivan Herrera is definitely in the conversation of like top offensive catching prospects. The dude can hit. When the guy's hot, he is hard to get out. This week over 5 games, 286 batting average, 348 on base percentage, 1253 OPS. He had 4 home runs. He had a double. 5 of his 6 hits in 5 games were extra base hits this week. He had 5 RBIs and 2 walks on top of that. So imagine if people were on base when he hit those home runs. He would have had so many RBIs. But an awesome week for Ivan Herrera. It just shows if Ivan Herrera can find that consistency, he's a disgustingly strong prospect in that Cardinals system. Another video that I just wish was better quality because Jordan Groshans shows off his bat speed. And look at the catch from this dude. Oh my, the one-handed grab from the fan. You don't see fans catching balls like that at minor league games very often. That was awesome. But over 6 games this week, Jordan Groshans, who I have said many times I think is the best hitter in the 2018 draft class, which is a bold statement from me, had an awesome week. 409 batting average, 480 on base percentage, 1253 OPS, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 9 hits in 6 games, walked 3 times on top of that. Jordan Groshans is only 21 years old. We're most likely going to see him next year in 2022. So very excited with Jordan Groshans. Again, just someone that I don't even think has hit his ceiling. I personally expect weeks like this to come more often. I just think going through injuries the past couple seasons and even this season, missing a few games here and there, I don't think he's got really into the flow of things. So I definitely expect more weeks like this continuing through the end of this minor league season from Jordan Groshans. I think he's just getting started. And our MVP in AA this week, Bryson Stott, former 14th overall pick in the 2019 draft. Over 6 games this week, 524 batting average with a 577 on base percentage, 1434 OPS. He had 1 home run, 4 doubles, 11 hits in 6 games. He had 6 RBIs. He had 4 walks on top of that. Just crushed it this week. Could not get out. Anytime someone hits over 500 in a week, most likely going to end up being the MVP. Bryson Stott's been on fire lately. I definitely am interested to see if maybe we see him at the end of the year for a couple ABs with the Phillies, as long as he keeps trending in this direction. But he's been hot. Let's finish this recap off with AAA baseball. Nick Pratto crushes this home run. Nick Pratto's showing he's got power, like real power this year. Nick Pratto, former 14th overall pick in the 2017 draft. Definitely putting his name back on the map this year in general, but this week, over 6 games, 280 batting average, 308 on base percentage, 948 OPS, 3 home runs, 7 hits in 6 games. He had 7 RBIs. He had a walk on top of that, and he stole 2 bases. First baseman stealing 2 bases in a week. That don't happen very often. Seeing Adley Rutschman hit his first AAA home run just makes you smile a little bit. Adley Rutschman is continuing to rake at the AAA level. I don't even need to give you a breakdown of Adley Rutschman. He's been on bare minimum like 50% of these recaps this year. He's been awesome all year. And over 5 games this week at AAA, 364 batting average, 391 on base percentage, and 937 OPS. He had a home run. He had a double. He had 8 hits in 5 games. He only had 1 RBI this week. He had 1 walk and 1 stolen base. Adley Rutschman, he's got 2 stolen bases in the month of August. Watch out. Nolan Gorman has such a pretty swing. I absolutely love watching this dude hit. And when he connects to a baseball, it flies. Absolutely crushes this home run. Way gone. Nolan Gorman this week, and I talked about him being inside my top 10 prospects in my top 10 prospect video. And weeks like this is why he's there. Over 7 games this week, 304 batting average, 448 on base percentage, 1057 OPS. He had 2 home runs. He had a double. He had 7 hits in 7 games. He walked 6 times on top of that, 1 being intentionally. When Nolan Gorman is swinging the bat well, the dude is impossible to get out. The dude rakes. And the longer he's been in AAA now, the more consistent he's getting. And I just think he's going to keep getting better. He continues to show progress through his minor league development. Absolutely love it. He's a top 10 prospect for me. Josh Lowe's been on fire. This dude's been on a lot of our recaps recently. Walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th in this game here. Dude, that thing went upper deck. Josh Lowe this week over 5 games, 278 batting average, 364 on base percentage, 1141 OPS. He had 3 home runs, 5 hits in 5 games. He had 7 RBIs. He walked 3 times on top of that. Josh Lowe, he's just waiting for his call at this point. And I keep putting him and Seth Beer in the same conversation, who we might see Seth Beer next. Just saying. They're just waiting. They're just waiting in AAA for that call to the major leagues at this point. They're both ready. Seth Beer's just been crushing in AAA this year. 400 on base percentage throughout the whole season. Absolutely annihilates this baseball. Over the hitter's eye. And guess what? His next at bat, he did the same thing. Hit it over the hitter's eye again off a lefty pitcher. 2 lefty-lefty home runs in a row. Seth Beer, and I probably could have given him MVP again this week, but I gave it to someone else. Talk about him next. But Seth Beer over 5 games, 333 batting average, 400 on base percentage, 1178 OPS. He had 2 home runs, 2 doubles, 6 hits in 5 games, 6 RBIs. He walked once on top of that. He got beaned once. The dude just continues to get on base at a 400 on base percentage rate at AAA. Just waiting. He's just waiting for that magical phone call. Come on, D-backs. Get him up there. And my AAA MVP to round out the video this week, Luis Campusano. He had 2 home runs that looked absolutely identical to this week. And he crushed that. Laser beam. Luis Campusano this week over 4 games had a 368 batting average, 429 on base percentage, a 684 slugging percentage, 1113 OPS. He had 2 home runs, 7 hits in 4 games, 5 RBIs. He walked once. He got beaned once. I just gave MVP to Luis Campusano this week instead of Seth Beer. Though Luis Campusano had a lower OPS, I just feel the 368 batting average, 429 on base percentage, higher numbers there. Plus, he had 2 home runs as well. I think he deserved it this week. All right, that's going to do it for our Week 16 minor league recap this week. Again, lower offensive numbers kind of all around. It's nice to see that some pitchers are maybe figuring out how to pitch a little bit, but it is kind of nice to see not everyone hitting like 500. So that was pretty cool, seeing the pitchers adjust this week. Still some awesome performances, but as always, if you guys like these recaps, want me to keep making them, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments if I forgot anybody. Very easy to overlook players at times, so if I did, name and weekly stat line in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and you all have a great rest of your day. See ya!